Now the fourth stage of conduction of nerve impulse is the transfer to the target tissue or the target cell or to the next neuron, and we are going to deal with that, what it is all about. That is neural synapse we have to deal with. We have a new term now, what is a synapse? Synapse is basically the gap between the neuron and the next neuron, it could be, or the next cell it could be. Try and recall the structure of neuron. There were dendrites at one end, and when there was cell body, I am just giving you a rough diagram, and in the end you had some more expulsion, and there was a knob like structure known as synaptic knobs. We term them synaptic knobs. Now these synaptic knobs, they are in association with a gap cleft like structure that is known as synapse. The entire structure is known as a synapse. What does a synapse comprise of? It comprises of a presynaptic cell. It has a synaptic knob, the bulbous structure of the neuron. Presynaptic synaptic cell is the neuron itself, the part of neuron. Then there is a knob inside which many neurotransmitters are present. Then there are synaptic vesicles which are present over there. There is voltage gated calcium channels are present, and apart from that there is synaptic cleft, the actual gap between the neuron and the next neuron, dendrites, or it could be the muscle tissue. And what are the two types of synapse which are present in our nervous system are, I hope you are quite clear by now that what is a synapse. Synapse is, again I am telling you, supposedly these are the two neurons, or this is the neuron, red one, and this is the target tissue. So it has to bring, because the current was coming, it has to pass on the current over here, so that this acts according to the impulse which has been received. Now it has to either be in contact with it, or it has to be in such a contact that the impulse passes over here. Now neuron does not come in direct contact like this. It is not going to get in contact like this. There would be a small gap. The small gap would be known as synapse, and over there would be exchange of the impulse, the passing of impulse, and then the impulse conduction would be completed in the terms of neuron. Like it started from here, this neuron would have received impulse from the first neuron. This neuron is going to pass its impulse to the second one, that is either a neuron or the tissue. Now this neuron is going to pass it to the next neuron through a small gap, and that gap would be synapse. Now there are two types of gaps which are present. First one is electrical synapse and other one is chemical synapse. Now electrical synapse is one where we have the gap is so small, it is lesser than 0.2 nanometer or 0.2 nanometer. The gap happens to be so small that the voltage that has come over here reached till here, the potential difference that reaches over here, or the wave of depolarization, I must say, it is easily passed on to the next without any contact, because the gap is so small. So we have electrical synapse. Electrical synapse are very fast, and they are uniform, like you won't have different types of electrical synapse coming into the scenario. That's why we have maximum of electrical synapses in our brain, because brain has to work very fast. Talking about the chemical synapse, the gap would be larger. It would be more than 20 nanometer, and in that case you cannot expect that that depolarization wave passes to the next neuron. It won't happen because the gap is larger. For that, the synapse is going to depend on some sort of neurotransmitter, and moreover chemical synapses are the synapses which are most abundant in our body, because we have many types of neurotransmitter, more than 30 types of neurotransmitter, more than 60 types of peptide derivatives which act as neurotransmitters, and such is the variety. So the outcome whichever we are expecting, that could be different, because every time the tissue or the target organ or the target tissue or the target cell has to act differently, and the neurotransmitters which are involved in the chemical synapse would be playing an important role for that. That is why there is such a huge variety in neurotransmitters. And understanding now about a chemical synapse, we don't get in detail of electrical synapse, because it is similar to the saltatory conduction itself or the simple conduction, nerve impulse conduction, because it is going in the form of depolarization wave only a small gap comes. Supposedly somebody is running very fast and a small gap comes, he simply jumps over there and then jumps to the next and then starts running again. Same way is in the case of electrical synapse. You are running too much, you are having a huge gap, you just jump over it, then you start running again. So that is how the electrical synapse is being conducted. In terms of chemical synapse, the conduction is little bit different. For that we need to understand what a chemical synapse is all about. We are going to find a presynaptic cell, we are going to find a synaptic knob, the bulbous structure that we study in the case of neurons. we have synaptic vesicles inside those synaptic knobs. These synaptic vesicles, they have neurotransmitters in them. Each synaptic vesicle would have 50 nanometers diameter. The diameter would be 50 nanometer, and there would be more than 10,000 neurotransmitters like acetylcholine or GABA, which are present inside each synaptic vesicle, sorry. And the last one is that there would be voltage gated channels, which would be playing an important role in release of these neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft. So this part that you see over here is synaptic cleft. One by one we are going to understand the role of each part and how the impulse would be passed on to the next cell. Supposedly this is the neuron, as you can see, this is the axon terminal, this is the synaptic knob, and this is the target cell. In the target cell we have receptor molecules which also act as gates, okay, receptor molecules. So let's see, we have a thickened membrane of presynaptic cell due to cytoplasmic condensation, a thickened membrane and a concentration of many vesicles, that are synaptic vesicles, inside the synaptic knob. Now what happens is, through the axon terminal the wave of depolarization reaches to the synaptic knob. This is the presynaptic cell that we are talking about. This one is presynaptic cell. This is, as you can see, the bulbous structure is synaptic knob. This synaptic knob is having abundant vesicles. Inside the vesicles there is present a huge amount of neurotransmitters. Now what happens when the depolarization waves come over here? There is a flow of calcium ions, okay. The voltage gated calcium channels, they open up. In any case, the concentration of calcium ions is much greater outside as compared to inside. When the wave reaches at the synaptic knob, there is cytoplasmic condensation, I have told you, due to which the membrane is quite thicker. When the wave reaches, the calcium ion gated channels, voltage gated channels, which are, again I used voltage gated over here because the wave of depolarization would come and open these channels, and there would be an inflow of calcium ions inside. Many calcium ions which are abundantly present outside but not inside, they would flow inside. When the calcium ions, they flow inside, they enable these vesicles to move towards the membrane, that is the synaptic membrane, which is in close proximity with the synaptic cleft. The vesicles, when they come close to the synaptic membrane, they do exocytosis. They get merged with the membrane and they throw out their neurotransmitters into the synaptic clefts. When the neurotransmitters are thrown into the synaptic cleft, the receptor molecules which are present in the target cell, they open up and they take up the neurotransmitter and they take up the depolarization, and yet again the polarization wave starts. The depolarization wave, which was to be perceived by the receptor cell or which was to be perceived by the target cell, it is perceived due to the neurotransmitter flow which takes place due to inflow of calcium ions by the exocytosis of the vesicles, and the neurotransmitters, when they come in contact with the receptor molecules, they take up the depolarization wave as well, and the depolarization move further and the impulse conduction is completed. Repeating it all over again, I am going to tell you, as the depolarization wave reaches the synaptic knob, the presynaptic cell, it opens up the voltage gated channels which brings inside the calcium ions. Calcium ions, when they come inside, they enable the vesicles to do exocytosis of their neurotransmitter into the synaptic cleft. As soon as the neurotransmitters are thrown into the synaptic cleft, the next cell, that is the postsynaptic cell, that cell opens up its receptor molecules and takes up the depolarization wave due to the neurotransmitter inflow. Now how to stop this? When this has to stop, the voltage gated channels would close because the depolarization wave has been passed forward. Now, how to stop the synaptic conduction, chemical synapse? These enzymes would dissolve these neurotransmitter, they would dissolve the vesicles, and this membrane would close all over again. The vesicles which were getting dissolved due to exocytosis, they would be formed again. The neurotransmitters would be dissolved by the enzymes and the calcium would flow out, so that another wave of depolarization comes and enough of the neurotransmitter can be thrown back. So this is all about the neural synapse, the chemical synapse being more important because it is more abundant, and though it is slower but it is more abundant due to the variability of responses that it provides in terms of the neural response.